are the Bro Force Squad. And if you're coming to rescue us on your civilian yacht, there better be a fucking keg on it, otherwise we're gonna wait for the next one. And this is our review on Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk. I'm Matt Geiger, along with Jeff Hornacek, and we will be grading this movie like we grade all movies on 5 criteria: cast, story, best scene, impacts on pop culture, and rewatchability. Jeff, diving right into the cast, is our special guest ready, or you want me to take this?
Yeah, I'm just queuing up his mic if you want to jump in real quick first.
Okay. It's actually acting and cast, but since there's not much acting in this movie, I guess we'll just call it cast, and I'll just take my boy Tom Hardy. If you liked Bane, he basically does the voice the whole fucking movie, and he's a pilot, and he kills some people, so that's fucking cool. But basically every line he has in this movie is just pilot talk.
Yeah.
To the left, I got him, he's dead, let's fly to the right, let's fly to the left. But he has a mask in front of him, so he sounds like Bane, so that's fucking kind of cool. So
I wish at one point he said to a German guy, "Let's not stand on ceremony here, German pilot." Like, what?
Crashing this plane. No survivors.
No survivors. Actually, that line would have made perfect fucking sense.
It would have made way more sense, maybe even more than in The Dark Knight Rises. So, ladies and gentlemen, longtime friend of the pod, Michael Caine.
That's Sir Michael Caine. I fucking earned that knighthood. Pay it a little goddamn respect, please.
Alright, sorry, yeah. Sir Michael Caine.
Let's get into the cast real quick for my friend Chris Nolan's film. I'm glad that Mark Rylance was cast instead of that pie bug face eater, Jeremy Irons, who can't play a butler to save his goddamn life.
Michael, we went over this before. You can't just come on the pod every fucking time and just shit on Irons.
He's an awful butler. He drinks on the job. I seen it.
Well, that's kind of up for interpretation. I really liked his, take on Alfred. And you drank on the job too on The Dark Knight Rises.
I'll absolutely bite you. I'll cut you. I'll end it. Okay, sorry.
Jeff, we can't keep having him on the fucking pod if he's just drunker than Banner during D2 every time he comes on.
Sorry, I poured him a Shirley Blanca. I cut his mic. Let's talk Dunkirk now, all right? So acting and cast, the only person in this movie who Christopher Nolan even tries to get a performance out of is Mark Rylance as Mr. Dawson. And guys, I'm not kidding. I love Christopher Nolan. I worship at his altar. I would make out with him if he was here right now. But the only character in this entire movie whose name I even knew at the end of it was the kid George, because, spoiler alert, he dies and they literally show it to me in a newspaper. Nolan is not interested at all in any performances in this movie. He's interested in other aspects of the Dunkirk story, and so this is the anti-Dark Knight in that perspective. There is no performance really to write home about for acting cast.
Our second criteria we grade all films on is story. Whenever we came up with this podcast, we felt that all 5 of these criteria would match any movie that we did, so we could stay constant for our fans. The word story has no fucking place in this movie at all. Let me just say this. It's about an event. It's not about characters at all. It's about the event Dunkirk. Now, I would like to talk to people that thinks Pearl Harbor sucks but likes this movie, because Pearl Harbor was about characters, not about actual Pearl Harbor. This is about no characters at all. It's just about Dunkirk, basically. There's no acting. There's no development of any characters. By the time it ends, you don't care. You don't want a character to die. You don't really care if he lives. You don't really care anything. You don't feel anything. You feel the score and the battle scenes, and that's about it, which I guess in a war movie, if that's what you want, and I've never been to war. Maybe somebody that's been to war, that's kind of what it's like, but that's how I felt about the story. I don't really have much to say about the story, because there really wasn't one.
Yeah, and don't get us wrong, we are not defending that piece of shit movie Pearl Harbor, but a good war movie needs to be somewhere in between. We need a narrative or some characters to invest in, and I understand that this all takes place in about a day. So there's not going to be a lot of development in terms of, hey, show me this guy's backstory. But I don't get to know anyone in this movie because no one talks to each other. I legitimately thought that 2 of the characters in this movie were mute until 45 minutes in, when one of them said, "Oh, look!" in his British, and I was like, oh, okay, that guy's a British accent. I thought he was French the whole time. Nolan, the visuals are great, like you said, the score is incredible by Hans Zimmer, but Nolan was just not interested in telling us an actual story or having characters that we cared about, and I guess that's what he was going for. It did not resonate with me, and it pains me to say this, because I love Christopher Nolan, but story plot, there was just not much there.
It was basically a documentary without the narrator there. which is actually the best part of the documentary, so you can kind of follow along and care about shit, but that's kind of what it was.
That's a great way to put it. It was just like war footage that I was watching.
So best scene, what do you got?
So mine was the one time the score really picked up, and if there was anything done in the first 2 acts to support this, I actually think I would have been in tears because the score was so great by Hans Zimmer. But it's when all the civilian boats arrive in Dunkirk with their British flags waving, and the soldiers realize, okay, we're actually going to live and not just get bombed to fuck on this beach by the Germans. In this scene, Hans Zimmer, who scored the movie, who did all the Batman movies with Nolan, he did, I believe, Interstellar and Inception.
Yeah, he's a Nolan guy. He's done a lot of stuff with Nolan.
He kind of embarrassed Chris Nolan here because his score was so powerful, so enigmatic, so emotional, so raw, and nothing on the screen was matching up with that. There was no synchronicity. I was like, dude, your music is killing it right now. What is happening on the screen, though? So that was my favorite scene. Again, it is killing me to shit on Chris Nolan. I fucking love him. I just want people to know that. Geiger, what was your best scene?
Of course it was a Hardy scene. When Hardy sneaks up on the Germans, like, flies behind him and bombs the fuck out of him, it was, there's no character development, that's fine. I love Hardy, so his character is developed enough for me. But the cinematography, the directing for Nolan, I'll have to back him on this. The story sucks, but the directing is fantastic in this movie. Yeah. And the score from Hans Zimmer makes that I felt like I was actually on the fucking beach looking up. It was a fantastic fucking scene. Very well done. I don't think it's out of reach for saying this movie, as much as I didn't like it, could win maybe Best Picture. There was no story there,
yeah,
but
I don't know.
The directing was fantastic.
I mean, the cinematography, specifically the scene you're talking about with the airplanes, I don't know how they filmed that, but it was unreal.
I've never seen a movie like this that's a big budget, quote-unquote, blockbuster. I'll say that. There's independent films that go every which way. But this movie, for being a big blockbuster, I've never seen a movie like this. So that leads right into it. Impacts on pop culture. What do you have?
All right, guys. So there were people saying this is the best film of the year. This is Christopher Nolan's best film. This is, at best, his 7th best film, which is not necessarily an indictment because all his other movies are great. But I just think we need some perspective. And it's maybe his 8th best film. So I'm going to read you this list. Geiger, you tell me if you disagree. And if you're at home and we're fucking idiots, tweet at us at Bro4Squad. Tell us to kill ourselves because we're wrong. But, and this is in no particular order, but it kind of is. The Dark Knight, Batman Begins, Inception, Interstellar, The Prestige, Memento, and then either Dunkirk or The Dark Knight Rises. Meaning this is 7th or 8th best on his movies, and that's not counting Insomnia or Following. So it's a solid movie, I guess, but it pales in comparison to the rest of his filmography. How about you?
I think The Dark Knight Rises is better than this, and honestly, guys, as a Dick Grayson, Jason Todd fan, and anyone that's listened to us knows I'm the DC guy on the pod, I hated The Dark Knight Rises, how it ended with giving that douchebag Joseph Gordon-Levitt the keys, but honestly, this is a better... Dark Knight Rises is a better movie than Dunkirk. It really is. I can watch it way more. Impacts on pop culture for me, I don't know yet. I think it might be kind of big because are more people going to do movies just about, a town or a story and have no character development whatsoever? And I want to take a step back, Jeff, and just kind of realize that the last 2 weeks, we came off Spider-Man Homecoming and War of the Planet of the Apes, so our expectations are maybe a little too high.
Yeah.
But still, this movie was... It's not even comparable to any of those at all, because all of those movies had so much character development, so much bought-in stuff, from Civil War to Spider-Man to Planet of the Apes being the third one, and they developed it so good. This one, I just left, and I didn't feel... Guys, if someone got shot on the street today, you'd be like, oh, that sucks for them. If your cousin got shot on the street, you'd care a lot more. You know why? Because you're invested in that person. You know that person. Christopher Nolan didn't invest in any actor here, which begs me to wonder, why did you get Murphy? Why'd you get, why'd you get Hardy? Why'd you pay money for all this if you're not going to develop any of these guys and let them do what they do?
We could be wrong, but not only do I not think this will win Best Picture, it might not even get a nomination.
I don't think it will. I really don't. Especially in this year. This year is stacked full of movies. So rewatchability, for me, it's none. And guys, honestly, I'm not a big World War II fan anyway. I'd rather watch Civil War movies or Revolutionary War movies. So take whatever I say with a grain of salt, but at least give me some kind of story I could maybe back, or it was like, oh, I kind of feel how this character's feeling. but it's none for me. I'll never watch this movie again.
Yeah, I don't think I'll see it again. There's not a performance that stands out. Like The Dark Knight, you can go back and watch over and over and over just to see Heath alone. There's not like any particularly great scene, but I will listen to the score again because Hans Zimmer, as always, is a pro's pro, and he brought it. But this is not a bad movie by any stretch, but if you're grading this on the Christopher Nolan scale, for him, it's a miss. Now, for the average director, they'd fucking kill their firstborn child to make a movie like this, but for Nolan, it just... There was no real narrative and no characters that mirrored any of his other movies. I was a little surprised and kind of let down.
This is a Nolan Simple Jack. One day a black Robert Downey Jr. is going to be like, you went way out on a limb on this one, dude. It's like nothing you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Whenever I left the theater, I said, I've never seen any. I've never paid $35 to see this shit in IMAX, and I've never seen a movie like this. Like you said, Transformers... Dare I say, may have more character development than this movie.
But hey, one thing that might become a positive, Harry Styles said at the premiere that he might retire from acting after one movie, so that's at least one good thing Nolan might do.
Yeah, that's a plus. That's a good thing. Maybe he'll go back to just sucking at music. All right, guys, we're the Broforce Squad. We're sorry we didn't like this. If you think we suck, tweet at us. If you think we're great, tweet at us. Either way, subscribe to us. Go to our website, broforcesquad.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube, Facebook, Broforce Squad Podcast, and Twitter at Broforce Squad. Until then, we'll see you in around the theater.
Ah, the Germans!